Money makes the world go round. This famous quote discusses the necessity of money, and in the business world, this is no different. Money is especially prevalent in the workplace, as it is a primary motivator for employees. With a shift towards pay transparency, employees are talking about money more than ever. To honor these pay transparency laws, managers are expected to engage in frequent conversation about pay. Our first article prepares managers to do so by suggesting a non defensive attitude and educating themselves on the company's compensation strategy. As well, managers should have open office spaces to encourage discussion and prepare for common questions. Although these are great start points, our team wanted to probe even deeper. For example, what are the actual benefits and consequences of pay transparency, and what are some extra steps the managers can take to honor this open discussion? Today, our team will be utilizing our articles to dissect the true nuances and effects of pay transparency and setting actionable steps for managers to take to mitigate any potential risks. Indeed, we will not only be honoring pay transparency, but adjusting the very way that money goes round in new workplace contexts.
Article 2 proposed that pay transparency can effectively reduce gender pay inequalities. According to data from Forbes, the gender pay gap could be reduced by 40% with broad pay transparency. Why does pay transparency have this positive effect? Firstly, pay transparency is a valuable tool for companies to transform diversity into a true culture of inclusion because it clearly shows the disparity in pay among genders and encourages employers to identify and address pay gap issues, enabling them to develop constructive strategies. Second, pay transparency can help avoid direct discrimination and unconscious bias when making salary decisions. Instead of having conversations about pay in secret, pay transparency allows women to more easily discern if they are underpaid. Moreover, pay transparency can help ensure compliance with pay equity legislation, fulfilling employers' responsibility to provide equal pay for equal work and reducing the risk of legal disputes. With equal pay, childcare will be more likely affordable for women, helping them stay in the labor market and build their careers, thereby keeping their wages in line with men's. However, Article 3 suggests that pay transparency could unintentionally increase gender pay inequity. This is because pay transparency may shift compensation from observable factors like salary to unobservable ones like ideals, making regulation and monitoring difficult. Article 3 also suggests that with transparency pay, supervisors will be more likely to fulfill more personalized requests such as ideals to retain key talent. Research from Robbins School of Business found that men are more likely than women to have their financial ideals requests fulfilled, potentially increasing gender pay inequity. To mitigate this, employers should establish clear performance matrix, pay structures, and regulations for compensation and ideals. HR should regularly compare actual pay and granted ideals against these standards to ensure that policies match practice. Additionally, HR should conduct audits to ensure fairness and equal ideal success for all employees, regardless of gender.
Expanding on previously mentioned ideals, let's dissect the impact of these negotiations as mentioned in Article 2. Ideals are personalized negotiations made one-on-one between employee and employer. These arise in the face of pay transparency as employees better understand their compensation and are able to ask for additional support that's needed. While ideals are often praised for increasing organizational commitment, job satisfaction, and concentration, there are some overlooked consequences to be wary of, such as its effects on those who don't receive ideals. To non-idealers, these negotiations can create a perception of employee favoritism. This then creates lower morale and motivation. Employees may start comparing themselves to others and believe that injustice has taken place. Some may even go to lengths of social undermining, which is preventing other coworkers from achieving further goals and ideals. This intense negative reaction in certain individuals can be tied back to the big five personality factors, particularly conscientiousness. Low conscientiousness refers to lower achievement orientation and attitude of responsibility for work, and this can lead to decreased employee self-evaluation, which then promotes feelings of helplessness and unworthiness when employees don't negotiate ideals. To mitigate these negative effects, organizations can improve employee conscientiousness by implementing stronger leadership opportunities to stimulate self-esteem and efficacy. Furthermore, managers can create open access to ideals through a labor relations strategy by utilizing unions to collect employee feedback and help with management. Lastly, organizations can also expand the range of ideal recipients by creating various assessment standards to consider the differences in employee ability.
Apart from ideals, employees can benefit from pay transparency in another way regarding broader negotiations. With pay transparency, employees gain a clearer understanding of what they are earning at work, which helps them argue for proper wages and make more informed career decisions, increasing their bargaining power.
What happens when employees do step up to bargain about their compensation? Article 2 mentions specific questions employees ask, such as why they're getting less pay than others. So how do these concerns impact the organizational culture? This situation resembles a zero-sum game, where if one party gains, the other loses, resulting in a net gain of 0, meaning that there is no way to benefit all parties through integrative negotiation. Using a similar real-life example, the academic ranking in many countries. Research shows that this system increases stress in both low and high-performing students due to the pressure to relentlessly pursue a higher rank. Relating back, it is likely that this kind of unhealthy competition also develops in companies, since if one person earns more, the other earns less, leading to unaligned objectives, causing constant dissatisfaction and less chance for deep relationships among employees. Yet some managers choose to compress salaries to avoid complaints. This triggers another question. Is pay compression another form of inequity? Being paid the same as others, top performers will feel undervalued and find jobs elsewhere that pay them higher. Losing high-quality human resources means losing a sustainable competitive advantage to succeed in the long run. This also creates risks of wage inversion when less experienced employees are paid more than senior employees. To mitigate these problems, companies can add more chains of command to avoid intense competition at one level, provide clear feedback so employees understand how their pay links to their contributions, and introduce project bonuses to incentivize high performers.
Expanding on the idea of incentives, Article 3 also mentions how pay transparency has two contrasting effects on both reward systems and incentive pay. The study by Oblage and Zinger suggests that while pay transparency can make pay more equitable, it can also result in a flatter pay structure that does not adequately reward high performance. This can weaken the incentive for employees to perform better, thereby reducing overall productivity. For incentive pay to be effective, the plan must meet certain requirements, like employees value the rewards and they believe the reward system is fair. When employees do not see a clear link between their performance and compensation, they become dissatisfied and disengaged with the job. When employees have low engagement and low job satisfaction, they are apathetic and this produces job withdrawal. These negative employee behaviors result in lower productivity and higher voluntary turnover, as top performers are more likely to exit and search for organizations that are more willing to reward their higher performance. Overall, the effectiveness of reward systems and incentive pay diminishes. On the other hand, another study mentioned in the article indicates that if pay transparency is perceived as fair and consistent, it can lead to increased productivity. When employees believe that their pay is equitably linked to their performance, it can enhance their effort, satisfaction, and engagement. When employees have high engagement and high job satisfaction, research shows that they are highly motivated and passionate about their work. And these conditions create a clear competitive advantage for organizations, resulting in higher productivity and lower turnover. While pay transparency can pose challenges to incentive pay structures, its overall success in promoting productivity depends on the perception of fairness, whether the performance objectives are linked to the organization's goals, and the value of the rewards. To ensure the success of pay transparency, a comprehensive communication strategy is necessary to ensure employees recognize the full value the organization places on the reward systems, because an average program, well communicated, will do better than an outstanding program poorly communicated. As managers interact with employees every day, they should be prepared to communicate their approach and design of the organization's reward systems. By carefully designing and communicating the reward systems, pay transparency can lead to positive outcomes for employee productivity and engagement.
Indeed, pay transparency is a nonsense topic with both benefits and consequences. While implementing of these legislations can result in positive changes in gender inequity, negotiations, productivity, and engagement, there are potential issues regarding who gets to negotiate, motivational impact on co-workers, and the larger organization. Through these actionable steps, business can fully heartily embrace pay transparency, integrity, and reap the benefits of this boost in inequity. It is an increasingly modernized world. This equity is more important than ever, and it's the key to saying that we started with today, which is that money is what makes the world go round.